Tonight, an exclusive 5 on Your Side investigation.
They've been beaten, assaulted, even sexually abused. On Your Side, Chief Investigator Ron Regan joins us tonight. And Ron, you found Ohio's most vulnerable could be at even greater risk.
And it can happen by changing one single rule. We found the state agency that's supposed to protect the most vulnerable instead was planning to make it easier for abusers to strike again.
She's never really played with toys or games, but she thrives on people interaction.
This is Anna Mae's world. Autistic since birth, it's where she felt safe. Until one day, last winter.
This is her apartment, and it's right here.
Anna Mae's arms are bound and tied by the sleeves of her own sweatshirt.
To me, that's not even a restraint. That's more like somebody being held hostage and prisoner.
This cell phone video, recorded by a caregiver, was given to Anna Mae's family and included in this police report describing abuse. Even so, no one was charged. The case closed, and investigators failed to determine who did it.
Oh, no.
We showed the same video to another caregiver working with the disabled.
Are there any rules or regulations or procedures that would justify that?
No, not at all. Not one.
I am most certain that my daughter is not the only one receiving this kind of abhorrent care.
And with almost no consequences. In Ohio, over 5 years, records reveal nearly 9,000 victims like Anna Mae complained of physical and sexual abuse. But we found little more than 2,000 were substantiated. Most, like Anna Mae's, went unresolved. And many found to be abusers get away with only probation, including this abuser charged with sexual assault. Another who split the lip of a cerebral palsy victim. Still another who beat a client with a wooden spoon. Plus this one.
Stop! Put him up! Put him up! Get up now! Sit the down!
Seen on cell phone video being abusive. They're among 841 placed on what's known as the Abuser Registry, a registry compiled by the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities to prevent abusers from working with the disabled. So why would the very same agency make it easier for abusers to get off the list?
It's horrifying. I would equate it to suddenly lightening the restrictions on sex offenders.
Ben Sigard is still waiting for his son's abuser to even be placed on it.
Instead of using any of the approved techniques to calm or restrain Charlie, the male staff took it upon himself to put him in a chokehold and choke him out.
I have very vivid nightmares about him being passed out and things, so it's been really hard.
Charlie's mother says it's been more than a year since her son was abused in a state-operated facility. Was the caregiver arrested?
No.
Was he charged?
No.
He's never been put on trial?
No, he has never paid for anything that he did to my son. He's just walking around on the streets like everyone else.
His father, a former cop with 22 years experience investigating crimes, says 5 eyewitnesses saw it happen. Was this a difficult case to prove up?
No, and on the contrary, it was a good, strong, solid case.
And as the vast majority of cases go unprosecuted, state regulators planned hearings earlier this month to allow abusers to get off the list sooner. Michael Kirkman heads up Ohio's leading advocacy group for the disabled.
We haven't been able to get a satisfactory answer why that should occur at 1 year as opposed to 5 years.
Abuse is abuse, especially in this field from a provider, and I'm a little disheartened with our system.
But after our investigation began raising questions, regulators abruptly released this notice, canceling the hearing after receiving what it called feedback.
Why should someone that puts put a developmental disabled person's life in jeopardy.
Happy birthday to you.
Why is it okay for them to go back a year later and work with that same population?
And that's the very same question raised by us, as well as Disability Rights Ohio, that advocates for persons with disabilities. State regulators declined an on-camera interview to explain. I'm Chief Investigator Ron Regan.